can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North America, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
To this day.
Crumb TV.
Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. And welcome to another episode of Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that song that you just heard right there, that is the Twin Pillars, and that's Theta Waves, ladies and gentlemen. Theta Waves. All right. So, how's everybody doing? All right. How's the fam doing? You know what I'm talking about? Salute to everybody in the building. Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and let's get into this roll call. Shout out to everybody pulling up. We're gonna have a beautiful show tonight. A beautiful conversation. We're gonna politic and do it like we're supposed to be doing it. Yes, Los Angeles is in the space. Shout out to Los Angeles. Shout out to Kansas up in the here. Port St. Lucie. Okay, by the way, at NYC. Beautiful. Dallas, Texas in this thing. We got Columbus, Ohio. We got Charleston in the building. We got Charlotte. We got San Jose up in here. Shout out to San Jose. Shout out to Delaware, Wilmington to be exact. Naptown, salute. Patterson was happening. Harlem, Briat. Gulfport was goody. 305. Money is a major issue. The land of Cleveland. We got the DMV. We got Boston. We got Ireland. Cashville. Tennessee. We got Decatur. You know what I'm talking about? Never Boston. Tucson up in here. Austin in here. Shout out to South Africa. Joburg up in this biatch. And it's 3:38 a.m. up at the yeah. Shout out to the the Gas House. Dallas, Texas. All right, Dallas, Texas up in this thing. Salute to Dallas. Salute to Austin. Salute to Houston. And City. Vegas in the building. All right. Man, we in here deep, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up. I really appreciate y'all. You know, you could be doing anything, but you're here with us tonight. So yes, let's get it going. Um, man, you already know. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna pick up right where we left off. Let's the shenanigans begin. I have some time to examine some of the affairs of what took place literally while we were on live. This was breaking news on Saturday Night Live, where they had this alleged shooting take place. We were literally on live, and people was like, breaking news, breaking news. They trying to slump the president, Trump. They trying to slump Trump. Theoretically, are they not? We'll go to the tape. We'll examine things. It's a whole bunch of shit going on, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out now that we've had some time to kind of examine things and the shooter's name and all of these other things. Shit is crazy. But you know what? I'm standing on it. It is a full-time it's central casting, the theater of war. You feel me? One of those weirdos in the White House drew this one up. You know what I mean? Probably they probably used Claude and Anthropic and whatnot to cook this stupid ass shit up. But this is some bird ass shit. I promise you.
At the White House correspondent dinner, that wasn't a false flag. I know that his name was searched up in Israel several times before it happened, but that doesn't matter. I know that there's pictures of him in an IDF sweatshirt, but obviously, there's no ties to Mossad, right? He just likes wearing the clothes. I know that Trump is texting his reporters telling them to come home because he's going to be bombing Iran this week. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything about the shooter. And I know that our greatest politician, company owner, / demon Erica Kirk was, putting her tear eye drops in and running away. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean this was fake. And I know that, whenever they were doing interviews and said there was going to be shots fired tonight, that they weren't talking about the real shots. That was just, a figure of word.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
We should all know this totally.
Yeah, what are they wearing, bro? This shit is looking like what is he wearing? Some Dominican shit right there. Like, what's going on?
It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
We should all know this totally wasn't a false flag. We're totally not red-pilled goyim who know exactly what's going on in the world and can see all this stuff happening. That would never be us, right?
Hey y'all, it's me, Auntie Buffy, and this is what I deem as news. There's so much going on in this picture, this alleged.
She said Auntie Buffy. Is that what, am I hearing things? Let me bring it back. Hey y'all, this is Auntie Buffy. Let's see what she say.
Hey y'all, it's me, Auntie Buffy, and this is what I deem as news. There's so much going on in this picture, this allegedly staged assassination attempt. First of all, why are you grabbing her by her titties? That's what I want to know. Second of all, why are you using her, a pregnant woman, as a shield? Why she ain't behind you? Third, why is Donald Trump back here watching, smirking? Like, if somebody really tried to unalive your ass, wouldn't you be on the hell?
If I could play Homelander and not get a copyright strike, y'all, I would show y'all this. When I say central casting, when I say theater, when I say this shit is a bad written movie, when I say this is the season finale, I really mean that, bro. This shit is on cable right now, bro. I promise you. Maybe not this exact scene, but this whole feeling is on goddamn Amazon Prime right now. I promise you.
Helicopter somewhere. You wouldn't be in the background watching, right? I'm so sick of the United States. Wait a minute. Justice Department once used paid informants to break up the Black Panthers. Now they're indicting the SPLC for using paid informants to break up the Klan. That sounds about America. I'll be riding for you, boy. But what's going on, boy? What's going on? You got some explaining to do about this, baby. And last but not least, Clay, your lame ass was so lucky to even be in the same room, let alone have Megan Thee Stallion to be your woman.
Nah, I don't agree. I ain't gonna get up here and start Meg the Stallion hating and whatnot. I'm not one of those Tory Lane fanatics. But child, please. You know what I'm talking about? Don't even let me go there. Don't even let me go.
You had this woman cooking for you, like she said, cheating, had me around your whole family, playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment toward me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you could be monogamous? Bitch, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. Take your break, Megan. Take your break, Megan. How is lame ass cheat on you? These men,
Nah, sir. And you know, I don't promote I don't promote, I don't even know what the word adultery. He wasn't married to her, so I don't know the story. It's none of my business. But I do call karma. You feel me? Free Tory, nigga. I do call karma respectfully. You know what I mean? We not about to get outside and act like her jacket is not blemished and whatnot. We not about to act like she don't got a motherfucking a karma debt. Her karma credit score is like 800. We not about to do that. Respectfully, like I said, this is grown people business. I finna not to stick my nose in it, but Lord, please.
Somebody said, now I get why Left Eye burned his damn house down. I get it. I always.
All right, Auntie Buffy. All right, Auntie Buffy. Let's go. Who else do we got?
What the fuck is this Israeli magician talking about? Will he shut the fuck up already? Any minute now. Come on, I need this ballroom. Where's the damn assassin? Finally. Works every time. Come on.
Spider Cash. Who saw Spider Cash when Donald Trump had the press conference after the shooting? Who the fuck saw Spider Cash? Spider Cash was hiding, yo. They got Spider Cash on film when the shots was going off. This nigga was still sitting down. J. Edgar Hoover would never, nigga. He would never. Spider Cash, he's such an alcoholic, my guy. When the shits was going off, Spider Cash was sitting at the table sipping, my nigga, for real, for real. He had the nerve to try to look tough at the press conference with his cross-eyed Patel looking ass.
Spider Cash, now's your time to shine. Fuck, I can't do it. Not tonight.
Do it.
Not tonight.
Don't look at her. Do not look at her, Bobby. I'm finally free. This is it. Sweet freedom.
Butter chicken, tikka masala, biryani, naan, samosa, tandoori chicken, curry, dal.
His boo was in the building too. You see Erica with the flatty. You saw Erica Kirk. She was in the building. Her and Jade.
Vindaloo, palak paneer.
Student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes.
So, of course, the guy that they said was the shooter, who people thought was the dude to be on the platform, my nigga Drake, the fake Drake. But my guy right here, he's all over. As with all of the shooting suspects, they're always in a Black Rock video. You know what I'm saying? They're always on. There's always a tie somewhere. So all of these shooters are fucking Trump. Think about it. All of these alleged shooters are Trump. They all got some of the same stories where they're never ever not connected to something that this government. Like I had Knowledge Born Allah on the show the other day, and I'm talking to him about these shooters, and it's always somebody in the armed service or somebody who went through some shit with the armed service, like always. You know what I mean? This time around, he's in Nassau. This is a Nassau nigga. This is a smart nigga right here. You know what I'm talking about? This is a smart guy.
Tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from moving at all.
Recent Aging into the Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner Foundation offered a test run on products that have the potential to enrich the lives of seniors. 14 different tech startups got to present to over 350 people, and the
So that's JD Vance's wife, Usha, right? That's Usha Vance. And then that's the shooter right there. Okay? That's Cole Allen. Maybe he was coming for JD. Maybe that's Bay right there. You never know. You know what I'm talking about?
But don't actually.
He wasn't really specific in the manifesto. He didn't say who he was coming for. Maybe he was coming for
the chair to the ground.
350 senior health facilities.
All right.
That Stephen Miller is using his pregnant wife as. Okay. We've already established that it was a hoax. It's just nonsense. But can we first I want to point out that Stephen Miller is using his pregnant wife as a shield while holding her titty. Okay, so I just want to point that out. He is leading with his wife as his shield. And then I want to point out that that is Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump.
The boogeyman. He's like Kendrick in the cut.
Like,
that's Fredo in the cut.
Watch. I don't know if I'm laughing to keep from crying, laughing to keep from going and I don't know what I just want to share it with y'all because that's that nigga right there.
I don't want copyright. Don't play no music, please. I gotta turn the music off so I don't get the thing. Pure theater. Pure fuckery. Pure theater. It's a shit show. If there was a shit show in 4K, that's it right here. Look how they ran JD ass up out of there. Grabbed his ass up. You know what I'm talking about? Manhandle his ass. Then he was like, Donald Trump was like, I didn't fall. What the fuck did you do? Tie your shoe? What are you praying, my nigga? Was it what was you remember you Muslim, right? You did say all praises to Allah. Was you making salat, sir? The fuck? Cause that looked like your ass took a tumble. Look. Oh my goodness. Look at Cash. Look at Spider Cash. You not even looking active, son. You the FBI director. What the fuck? You're not even directed. It's too late. They doing all of this in the aftermath. Nigga, it's too late. Look at Erica. I just want to go home. Did they body anybody? I want to know. Did somebody go down? Because I know the homie he's not dead. The alleged shooter, he's alive. Did they take anyone's life? I would love to know if anybody has any. Now check this out with Fox News. They clipped this woman's live after she was about to say some ish.
Let me just quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me. And, right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened. And then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV. You do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some.
Look, they cut her shit right off. Like, you were off scripts, ma'am. You were off
Sounds
script.
like we lost Aisha's phone there. And this happens, by the way, especially when you have so many people attempting to utilize the same cell service at the same time. I did want to add this.
It always happens when somebody is about to say some real shit, too, coincidentally. Don't leave out that part as well. Okay?
We had a moment.
Don't leave out that part as well, So, yeah, we gotta let my guys step it up, man.
Thomas Allen, the White House correspondent shooter. He is 31 years old. He is from California. And here's everything you need to know. Look right here. Cole's going to come out the color like peroxide, moving, grooving, vibing, sliding by definition. And immediately the Secret Service starts to react, but he like ran straight through that shit where it's like, it seems like he approached the metal detector and he's like, well, I have guns on me. I'm not going to be able to get through this shit. And so he just run through on some Matrix type shit, pull out the gun, shoot to the right here. And I think that is the officer that gets hit in the armor vest. Now, somehow.
Yo, he ran and shot. Bro, what kind of shit is this? Is this a video game? The nigga ran and shot and kept running.
Approached the metal detector and he's like, well, I have guns on me. I'm not going to be able to get through this shit. And so he just run through on some Matrix type shit, pull out the gun, shoot to the right here. And I think that is the officer that gets hit in the armor vest. Now, somehow, you would think March Vera, you got to death. But I guess somebody just tackled bro because at first there was, reports shooter is dead, but he is definitely not dead. That man is alive, and somebody over here tackled him. This is the first confirmed video that came out that basically we knew that the suspect that was captured, Cole, was alive. And you can see him right here in the tinfoil because obviously they stripped him down, make sure he had no explosives on him type shit. Now, who is Cole exactly? Well, like I said, he's a teacher, but also, he's a smart dude. Gamer, engineering nerd, game developer, that type of vibe. But also, he did do an internship at NASA, supposedly. Now, is this like a revenge hit on everybody? Now, this is the moment that the president realized that something was going on. Now, somebody was performing this magic trick, and oh, she was impressed. Oh my God, how'd you know that? And then, boop, here comes the Secret Service. Now,
so, while they performing magic, right? Well, not really magic. They're performing tricks because it's called a magic trick. And those magicians are tricksters, right? Illusionists. So the symbology and the whole thing is an illusionist, right? It's right there with Trump and his guests. I think that's Lucy Liu. And the illusion is actually taking place right before your very own eyes. And what is the trick of a master magician like a Houdini and whatnot? Their trick is that they can commit these acts of illusion in the front of the people. Who saw the movie, the quote unquote, what was the name of that movie with Hugh Jackman in it? I think it was talking about Houdini. It was lit. It was two of them, as a matter of fact, that came out like back to back. Was it The Illusionist? But anyway, Now You See Me.
It was like a wave because they heard the bullets being shot.
Right.
And then obviously people started to panic, and then like the wave of panic swept through the room. Now, something very interesting, no photo ops by Mr. Trump. So I still think the last one was fake as fuck. But now the question is, was this sort of psyop, or is this just a terrible plot and execution here by Cole? Which honestly, that is what I'm leaning more towards, because like that looks like a nigga that had zero plan. He was just like, I'm gonna stop this shit today. Fuck it, I'm done. I'm stopping this shit. I'm shooting somebody. Or maybe they corrupted his mind over time. But then, weirdly enough, you can tell immediately that they are now using this as an excuse for the ballroom.
I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're.
Look at Spider Cash. Look at Spider Cash standing there trying to look tough after his ass was under the table and whatnot. Look at fucking Spider Cash, bro. Go on, Spider Cash. Nobody believes you, fam. You are not tough. You are not tough, sir. Your ass is scary. You know what I'm talking about? The fuck?
We're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom.
You definitely want to say that. I don't understand why you even trying to lie and say you did want to say that. You couldn't wait to say that. But now the question is, what happens next? So they're obviously going to do their background check on Cole, but the question is, are they going to try to tie him to Iran and then be like, oh, well, you see, that's why we need to go to war. But you see, they're already using it for the ballroom. They also already have their white ring puppets doing the same thing. And where we know this ballroom is not a normal ballroom. This is a billionaire bunker that he's going to use as a forever home to stay in presidency forever. Also, usually I don't condone snitching, but as a hater, I'm about to snitch right now because this girl should definitely get her credentials pulled, because once she met with BB the Bomber, so, I mean, she meets with genocidal maniacs, but then she took a selfie while all hell was breaking loose and reported false information because the shooter is not dead. So, yank, I feel like I should definitely pull that motherfucker.
Yeah, we got more. We got more. My man is cooking. You know, he got to cook. He got a 3-part series on this shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Not me, but some weird things have happened. But one thing we know for sure, Allen is fast as fuck, boy, because he seen the metal detectors hit the motherfucking dash. And people, this is where the scenarios start to come to play. Because option one, this was just a terrible plan, terrible execution. He came from California on the trains with guns, somehow got within this vicinity with all the guns, and then ran through here because he had zero plan. And that would just mean that our Secret Service and security overall fucking sucks. Option two, could this be some sort of stage psyop or event to obviously build the ballroom? Because a lot of people are immediately questioning, like, wait a second. Martin Rivera, you guessed it. Death. Every time I have ever seen someone like this start shooting, they die. Either they kill themselves or somebody shoots them. Or at least beat them the fuck up. But bro has no bruises, no blood, and everybody seemed very calm. It's too copacetic in there, where it's like, hold the fuck on. Buddy just shot your boy. You ain't gonna get your get back? Like, right now, it looks like he was just like, oh wow, I didn't think I was even gonna get this far. I give up. Go ahead, arrest me. It's like, that's weird. Picture hit the net. And obviously, people were like, whoa, that is our greatest liability. We couldn't put it past him. But I have not been able to confirm this photo. This could easily be AI doctored. And you know, I love blaming the motherfuckers, but I can't yet do that. So, we look at his manifesto, and his supposed plan was he was trying to take out the entire administration because he's like, Trumpstein and them, they child pedo protectors, fuck them. I'm going to take somebody with me. And it's like, okay, you know, cheers to that sentiment, but this is a smart guy. Game developer, engineer, worked for NASA, came up with the little wheelchair combobulation. And you mean to tell me his best plan and execution was to go to the most popular night of all at the White House, go through the hotel, sprint through the entire crowd, find Trump, and then shoot him? Like, I mean, I'm young. I wasn't born yesterday. That sounds fucking insane. Weird coincidences start to pile up where it's like, wait a second, that's a lot of coincidence. Because as we heard, Count Levette here is like, shots will be fired.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight.
Of course, that could just be a figure of speech, but to make things weirder, somebody called into Fox News that was at the dinner saying they were next to Caroline's husband, who leaned over to her and got all serious and was like, hey, you need to be safe. Keep your head on a swivel, because tonight... And then a call dropped.
Kind of leaned over and said, you know, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, you know, there are some...
Whoa, hold on. Throw the flag, review the play. Fuck is going on? One thing's 100% fact, though, is they are using this attack, whether it's a psyop or real, to build the ballroom. And as you see, all his puppets. Part 3, we will cover the other weird coincidences, like J.D. Vance being escorted before President Trump. See you in a couple hours. Secret Service protocol to get the vice president out before the president. I always thought it would be the other way around. But as you see how much time...
Remember what I've been saying about J.D. Vance and his alleged, quote-unquote, ascension to the throne. Remember what I've been telling y'all about J.D. Vance and how he will be president before this quote-unquote election. He will not have to wait to be elected. He's not running up against Kamala Harris. He will be president before this term is over. Mark my word. This nigga's gonna get murked, or he's gonna just off. He's gonna be on the, you know what I mean? It's the motherfucking clock is ticking, bro.
Time it takes. I'm very confused. Like, that seems iniquitous to me. And now you see they come moving, grooving, vibing, sliding in there, but that's a little bit too late. Then his old ass, I've tripped and fallen, I can't get up. I mean, my boy is old as fuck, son. Can't even get scurried out of here correctly.
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see.
You're a compulsive liar, so I guess I don't find it surprising you would lie about that, but you clearly were not trying to check anything out. You tripped and you fell because you old as fuck, and obviously your Secret Service folded in a critical time. Now, a lot of weird things happened at this White House Correspondents' Dinner. I'm going to go over all of them. Starting with the manifesto, because clearly his motive right here says, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. He didn't say a name specifically, but Trumpstein took that shit to heart.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein.
That's what we call a guilty conscience on full display, because his name not mentioned, Epstein's name not mentioned, but he put two and two together because he knows exactly what the fuck he been doing. This weird thing is Cole's list of targets, because he says not including Mr. Patel, talking about Dweeb Fisheye Patel, of course. And it's weird because how would he know he was going to be at that correspondence dinner? Because Kash has never attended it, and the FBI director usually doesn't go to that thing. This is Trump's first time ever. Speaking of Dweeb Fisheye Patel, he might as well be out the door and fired already, because while all this is happening, he's just outside on the phone calling people, trying to get informed about what the fuck is going on. Clearly not in the know. And you would think if this happened, a shooting during a white correspondence dinner, the FBI director would be in some sort of room planning out and making decisions. Nope, my boy is outside making phone calls like, what the fuck is going on? Idiot, you're gonna be fired soon. Then there's the shots not lining up with the camera footage, where we hear the noises in the other videos, but then when you watch the security footage back, it was like, wait a second. When was that big ass shotgun or whatever y'all was talking about, when he blicked that out? You understand? And if it wasn't at this point in time, that means it was after. But you guys subdued him, stripped him down, butt ass motherfucking naked, and there was no gunshots that were ever fired into him. No bruises, no broken bones, no nothing. That's weird. Obviously, there's this image that raises a lot of questions, but also could be AI. But then there's, how did he get the guns into the hotel? How did he get that close? And somehow motherfuckers just don't know.
Good question. I mean, listen, I'm not sure. It appears that he checked in on the 24th to the hotel, and we're still looking at video surveillance and footage of where he walked and how he got in and how those firearms got in.
This gets a little bit weirder because this random account has one tweet ever, and it just happens to be the name Cole Allen, and that was in 2023. And then you take a look at this background, and the background makes shit even weirder than that. Because when you go to the source of this picture, you get to here, and then you see that. Time machine, whole entire company. Take this weirdly up a notch. Yeah, right? That's weird. Now, obviously, I didn't figure this out. I looked through the internet. Could this all be fake? It could be. But at the same time, I'm going to share the information that I be finding, and I find this very odd and almost too perfectly lined up, and now I can't unsee it even when the image is gone. Especially when the official White House website literally says out loud, our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow, and improve productivity. I mean, I have no fucking idea. Maybe the least weird thing of it all is having the puppets use this to then push for the ballroom and say, we need the ballroom, which is basically just an underground bunker that will be his forever home. Actually, you know, there's one more thing that's a little less weird than that. Now, this may not be weird, more hilarious, but par for course. But Henny Hegseth coked out of his mind at this correspondence dinner. The jaw never lies. That is not a natural movement. My boy is on the white.
Henny Hegseth, man, this shit is a peanut gallery, man. This collection of bandits that they got over here, man, they did their big one with these motherfuckers. But I tell you,
and it exposes White House shooting hoax.
Let's go.
Yeah. White House dinner just went down. Had to control everything. LMAO. But did you? Drama still hit anyway. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame. No comedians. Super fragile snowflake, country going broke. MAGA waking up, they see the joke. You control the video, but
because remember, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, they clown you, they roast you. Imagine the level of roasting that they was gonna do to that boy JD, Spider Cash, Pistol Pete. All of them was about to get roasted. All of them was about to get their shit handed to them. And then now we only talking about a fucking shooting and an alleged assassination attempt. And I would say scratch that after, but that was not an assassination attempt. That was not an assassination attempt. That does not go on your record, Donald. Let's cut the bullshit. That was a you know what I'm talking about? That was a motherfucking that was a breach of security. That wasn't an attempted assassination. Cut it out.
You don't control Iran. Yeah. Before meal, no food, no crumbs on the plate. Prices too high, empty plates, political pie in the sky. Shots fired, whole place got swatted out. SWAT team rushed in, chicken little freaking out. Ballroom is the stage, exit is the cue. Trick up your sleeve, didn't get the survivors to leave. Dapper change, cover up, staging the whole scene. Every time your polls drop low, you pull the same scheme. No comedians, snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame, yeah. You talk big tough guy, but we laughing out loud. Had to stage the whole thing so it don't expose the fraud. Shots fired in the room, cleared fast. No food arrived, just drama unsurpassed. Trump post, let the show go on like a hero, but no one was even phased in there. Zero. Shooter apprehended, even indifferent than planned. Now you say we'll just do it all again. Damn, yeah. Super fragile snowflake, can't handle the smoke. Shots fired, whole place evacuated. Let the show go on. You the only one to blame. No comedians, no comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. MAGA waking up, country going broke. You control the dinner, but you lost the same. No comedians, no comedians. Fake tough guy show, now the whole world laughs. Sacred defense, we see the game. You control the narrative, but you still a loser. Sacred defense. No comedians.
So basically, it's Lego on their ass until when? Like, think about it. It's Legos forever on them. You know what I'm talking? It's a forever Lego war. Like, unless let's say, is it real bombs? Whatever, you know, whoever's making those videos, they got to be careful. Because that they making themselves that they literally a legit target. Like, when would the Lego movies end? They're never gonna end. They're gonna stay on their ass. Look, they on a helmet and anything from today on forever. You can't. I mean, literally anything that goes on is gonna be a Lego movie attached to it. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't even matter. Like, yeah. And then if they fuck around and do something to the original person, they can't martyr the Lego movie maker, because literally 1,000 Lego movie makers will literally pop up overnight. Okay. Meme warfare, ladies and gentlemen, in the theater of war. This is a new level of warfare. I believe that this war would basically go down in the history books with the meme warfare as being one of the first, quote unquote, battlegrounds where we saw the power of the meme warfare or meme magic. But no. It goes all the way back to 2016 with the first Donald Trump, rise of the first Donald Trump going for president and whatnot, with Pepe the Frog. And that was the meme magic that they were utilizing. That's Richard Spencer with the alt-right. That's the rise of, that's before Charlottesville. They were using meme magic all the way back then. And then you have the Groyper wars between the Groypers and Charlie Kirk and all of them. That was a meme war. So they've been doing meme wars for a minute now, but this is a global meme war. This is the coming out party, or this is basically the, I would say that this conflict is when the meme magic or meme warfare took center stage. Okay. It took center stage. And I would say to Black America, what the fuck are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Once again, what part do you play in the culture war? Are you going to, you know what I mean? Is there anything, nothing, like there's no commitment, no, nothing, not a thing, that's zero from Black America, not one fucking shot. Okay, cool. No problem. Y'all scared. Cultural warfare. DeSantis from Florida declared it on us. DEI, Niggas mamas got fired, you know, aunties got laid off and all of that. No shots, no Lego movies. Cool, no problem. But what I'm seeing is, and if you pay attention, that is a way to that's a level of warfare. It's a layer of warfare. Propaganda is warfare. Controlling the narrative is warfare. Hamas, right? Hamas, or however they pronounce it over there in Gaza, right? It's not even a group. It's a fucking idea. You understand? So people went to war against an idea, right? So war is about controlling ideas and concepts. That's why they have to control the narrative. That's why with the IDF and all of them and the Mossad and whatnot, they say the deception. They said war is 90% deception. That's why you really don't know what the fuck is going on right now. You feel me? That's why they censor and shadow ban and do all of these things, because they do not want the perception of the people to be controlled by the opposition. So they do things like Hollywood and all of this bullshit, social media, algorithms, and everything. That's what this is all about. So the Lego movies are piercing through that veil, but I don't trust Iran, because Iran, what the fuck? I more so trust our people. So where's our hypersonic missiles coming from? You don't want to say nothing? You don't have nothing to talk about? Are we just gonna be reactionary when they kill the new nigga, the new quote unquote placeholder for the trauma bonding, like how they had George Floyd? You feel me? We do for a new George Floyd. That was in 2020, 6 years later. You know what I'm talking about? Cultural warfare. You know, throwing all, you know, banning all of these programs, cutting all of this aid and whatnot. Doing all of this fuck shit. Going to war against us culturally. However, you know they can't win. They'll never be able to win. To go against melanated people in what they call a culture war, or to go against hip-hop in what they call a culture war, is a losing battle. You know what I'm talking about? Them people will never win that. However, at the same time, it does require some sort of response. It does require some sort of response. Okay. It does require some sort. We got to put something on the record books. Like, look, y'all coming at us. What's your argument? What y'all trying to say? What the fuck is your, you know what I mean? Like, what's your smoke? All right, here's the return smoke. Here, boom, hold that. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Just because. Just for the record books, just because y'all wanted to put it on a record, let's put it on a record that we washed y'all in this culture war, and y'all can't F with us. And your children and the young generations, right? They are, quote unquote, one of the main reasons why you'll never win that war, because our culture, they are part of our culture now. They have chosen, they pledge allegiance to our culture, not yours. They don't want to be MAGA. They don't want to be old traditional rednecks. They don't want to be trailer trash. They don't want to be none of that, right? They want to rock with the they want to rock with the culture. They want to talk like them. They want to walk like them. They want to dress like them. They want to do all of these things. So yeah, you could imagine these fake ass crusaders and whatnot, these Bible thumpers, these evangelicals, these Christian Zionists. Yeah, they losing their shit. They losing their shit, bro, because they're looking at their children and whatnot choose what they will call the enemy's culture or nigger culture, right? And as a result of that, they want to declare war the same way that they see their women and whatnot jumping over and the browning of America, where their women are choosing up. Okay. And the fact that they've chosen up so much, they have launched all of these campaigns about their blood and the 14 letters or the 14 words. That's what the whole Charlottesville in 2017, where they killed that lady Heather Hunter. What was her name? HH, whatever her name was, she got killed, right? She was the sacrifice, because Heil Hitler is HH. And they were marching in Charlottesville talking about, you will not replace us. Translation, they were talking to their white women They wasn't talking to black women. They wasn't talking to Asian women. They were talking to their own women and say, you will not replace us. They wasn't talking to black men about replacing white men, because that's never been the conversation. The only conversation coming out of white America since the time immemorial was their women leaving them. That's why they would beat them up. That's why they were treating them the way they are. That's why you have this women's suffrage and all of this stupid shit with feminism. Their women was always choosing up. They always had them in a headlock. Okay? Because their women choosing up is the erasure of them out of, you know what I mean? It's that whole cycle that's going on. You know what I'm saying? How, like you said, Latin America, they whitened, they bleached Latin America with their policies about, you know what I mean, getting the color out of that bitch. But then over here, the reverse was going on, where their women were basically browning out their towns. All of these white towns are getting browned out, right? And then they're like, oh, they're blaming it on immigration. No, translation. That's just more people for your women to choose. They say immigration, but really, it's just more options for white women to not choose white men. Okay? So the extent of where these people will go collectively, white men in America as a government, with a coup d'etat on the way, with a quote unquote coup d'etat on the way, with some type of disruption on the way before the elections of Donald J. Trump. That all of them are on code already, but they're literally, you will be surprised how far they're willing to take this shit. You'll be very surprised on how far to the left or on how far to the right they will be willing to go to keep themselves out of extinction. Okay, don't fall for the okie doke. None of them can. You can't trust anybody, because it's genetic survival at the end of the day. It is genetic survival at the end of the day. So all of that ally talk, nobody is gonna align with your black ass to motherfucking put their people out of extinction. Don't fall for that. Don't come around. Just don't come around me with the goofy shit. Like, yeah, this is my friend right here. You know what I'm saying? This is my white friend. He, you know, that's my ally. He riding with us, you know what I'm saying? Belly Cushington, you know what I'm saying? These are my gingers and whatnot. You know, they believe in us. I'm gonna give them a nigga pass. If y'all don't get the fuck out of here with this stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully, and not to take anything away from any other nationality that rocks with us. We rock with y'all. Okay? We rock with y'all. But right now, the conversation that we should be having is about the fragile nature of the mentality of the Western man right now, with their whole thing about being replaced. The fragility is picking up. The inferiority complex is kicking in. They have their fangs out. So they're willing to go all the way. This shit that you're seeing is not all the way. This is level 1 type shit with them. They're ready to go all the way. And like I said, and man, I promise you, if anything happens to Donald J. Trump and that role of CEO or president is transferred to James, whatever the fuck JD stands for, Jerome Dixon Vance. I don't know what the fuck JD stands for, but if that trailer trash from West Virginia gets that power position and then Peter Thiel becomes president, you really about to see some things. You really about to see some things shift, because they don't have the same decor as the actor Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is just there to play this fucking role. That he's playing an expert role as the chaos magician. He's the magus. He's playing the expert role of being the chaos piece. He's creating chaos, disorder and discourse and whatnot. He's spreading discord. Okay, he's blowing this dog whistle and his trumpet so other people around the world that are on that far right shit, the Ukrainians, Argentina, you know what I'm saying? All of these people that are in alignment, they're just all getting ready. They're all getting on code. They're all getting on page, but they're literally building up the whole entire stage for the dark enlightenment, for what they call the CEO president. and it's not Trump. So he's on his way. He is exit stage left for him. He's still, he's still giving y'all shits and giggles. He's the president to keep everybody on some bread and circus type of keying and all of that stupid shit, because Americans have now been reduced to a majority of people that are kind of like, fourth grade reading level, brainless idiots type shit. Idiocracy type shit. You know what I mean? That's where they at right now. Idiocracy. So an idiocracy president is the only thing will keep people distracted, while Palantir is connecting themselves to all of these systems, while AI, or the dark side of AI, through Palantir, through Oracle, through all of these other contractors, while you got shits and giggles with all of the distractions of what what Donald J. Trump and all of this dumb shit that they're doing, they're locking shit down. They're locking shit down. They're locking shit down. You feel me? On the tech side, on the surveillance side, on the flock camera side, on the genetic side, on the Atlanta being the most surveilled city in America. No. I'm sorry, in the world. In the world. Okay? Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Black Mecca. That's what they said, right? The Black Mecca, where all things were supposed to be promised to us, right? The city of quote unquote black wealth, black progression, all of these things, blackity, black. Well, all of the blacks moved and whatnot to be a part of this quote unquote life, right? The same Atlanta where we were, where people are supposed to be protected by the state, by their officials and whatnot, right? This same Atlanta that brought Cop City, right? They got Cop City. They send the IDF out here to train the cops in Cop City. So Atlanta is a pilot city. Yeah, the CDC is in Atlanta, right? Where they got all of the germs and everything. The Atlanta becomes the pilot city, right? For AI powered camera surveillance it's the most surveilled city in the world. Did y'all know that? Did you know Atlanta's one of the most surveilled city in the world? And they still got a bunch of unsolved crimes. How, Sway? How, Sway? They doing all of that surveillance for what? They're not even solving no crimes. So what is the data being used for? They're not using the data to solve crimes. Niggas is out here getting spanked every day. You know what I'm talking about? All of that surveillance for what? Atlanta is now one of the most surveilled cities in the world as it rolls out AI-powered policing. Come on now. You know what comes after that, right? Drones and robots. I could show you a picture of the towers on the highway that's going to have the drones attached to them. I'm literally driving by. I'm looking at them shits. They tall-ass towers with with cylinders, like 5 different cylinders going around. It's like a big ass circle, and they got like ports. But then I go to Walmart and I see the same thing, and it's holding the drones. I'm like, look at this shit. These niggas about to have drones on the highway pulling everybody over. Atlanta has their own FBI. Yes, they got the GBI, right? They got their own fucking FBI, bro. You know what I'm talking about? But BMF was in Atlanta for about 8 to 9 years with a billboard saying that BMF they own Atlanta. BMF was moving trailer loads, tons of coke through Atlanta, right? When this was supposed to be they start surveilling it after they actually used the BMF case. They actually used the BMF case when they were pitching for the surveillance and the stepped up police presence and all of that other extra stupid shit that they got in Atlanta. They were using BMF as one of the reasons why. Okay. So just giving you some heads up. You know, Tennessee got the TBI. Oh shit. Oh man. But after the drones come the robots. After the drones will come the robots. So they're going to have walking robots with facial recognition, right? You definitely, I told people before that they're going to use Palantir. Palantir just linked up with the IRS to go after the rest of the PPP people, but Palantir is going to be in Atlanta. They're going to use Atlanta as one of the places to take the scammers down, and you know, people to be in them damn stores stealing and whatnot. Because somebody told me this years ago, they worked in I think they was security in CVS, and they was like, yeah, they're about to collect. They said all we do is record people stealing all day because they have a government program. He brought up Palantir. They said they got a government agency called Palantir, and we feed them all of this footage, and they have a bunch of secret indictments. So when they reach a certain amount of secret indictments, because again, Palantir's attached to the private prisons and whatnot. So them private prisons that they're building up, them shits look like data centers. They're going to unleash, or they're going to unseal all of those quote unquote sealed indictments and start reeling niggas in by the thousands. So keep playing around and committing crimes with and doing dumb shit in front of these cameras. All of you, the new generation niggas, y'all love to do shit in front of cameras for some reason. You OnlyFans crime committing ass niggas. Y'all niggas be OnlyFans criminals. Okay? See your ass walk in the yard. You know what I'm talking about? Because you going down. You going down. Y'all on weird timing right now. You going down. They about to show your ass what the fuck fake they got. Because remember, they setting all of this up. But remember, it has nothing got rolled out as of yet. This is just a setup. The Palantir and all of that did not kick in. And the drones and all of that and the dogs, none of that kicked in yet. So this is just the setup part. You know what I'm talking about? This is just a setup. You will begin to see with this new level of policing, this AI policing, and that's kind of like that. That's the JD Vance era. That's not going to be the Trump era. That's going to be the JD Vance era, because JD Vance as the president, Peter Thiel is Palantir. Peter Thiel is the puppet master of JD Vance. He's already in the White House with his hands all in everything. But his inauguration into running this shit, similar to how Homelander is running the government, he's running America through in a TV show, The Boys. Homelander is basically running the government through the president, who's just a puppet. So JD Vance is a puppet, and Peter Thiel is the one running the show. He's the one in power because he's literally, JD Vance is his quote unquote project. He cleaned that nigga up. You feel me? It was Chubby JD. I don't know if y'all know Chubby JD Vance, but you go see his documentary and whatnot. He's the one behind, he's the force behind JD Vance, Peter Thiel, the reptile. So let's say that Trump is unalive or something happens and homie gets in a seat, then that's when this AI surveillance, that's when the Palantir shit really kicks into, that's Skynet. That's Skynet. Okay? So yeah, Police City is in Atlanta. CDC is in Atlanta. The AI surveillance, one of the most surveilled cities in the world. It was already like this though. It was already the most surveilled city. They just stepping it up. Now they have AI polices and whatnot. You feel me? So yeah, that you know what I mean? I don't know how long I'm gonna be staying in that city, but I just don't, you know what I mean? I don't like that for Atlanta, you know. I don't like that for Atlanta. But Atlanta has become so lawless and criminalized and whatnot. So many vagabonds, so many lowlifes, so many people of quote unquote a criminal pedigree. They've basically taken over the Atlanta scene in a way. You know, Atlanta is sacrilegious because it's one of the only states that doesn't have parental guidance. And what I mean by that is nobody is out in Atlanta with their parents. They don't come to Atlanta with their parents. They don't have parental guidance. A lot of people that come to Atlanta, it's a transient town. And the people that live in Atlanta, the homegrown people, you know, their parents are not really in, you know what I mean? Like that's an exception. They tap in with their people, but 80% of the other people come from college. They come from their transports, their transients. They don't have nobody to answer to. That is lawless. They don't have foundation like that. They're not here with their grandmama and their auntie and their moms and whatnot. They leave their city and come back to their cities, but they come out here to do the fuckery, to be gay, you know what I'm saying, to be freaks and whatnot, to be gangbangers, to be drug dealers, to be whores, you know what I'm saying, to be robbers, to be shooters, to be rappers, to be pill poppers, to be stick-up kids. That's what they come to Atlanta for. Dead ass. To be trisexuals, to sell sex, to buy it. And there's other dark things that I won't even say on the YouTube right now that they come to Atlanta for. So yeah, it's giving Sodom and Gomorrah. It's giving Sodom and Gomorrah. And there was a time where it did not affect the spiritual community. The spiritual community was somewhat shielded, but like I know, that is not the case anymore. You know that's not the case anymore. You know what I'm talking about? That line has been blurred. That line has been blurred, and people in this community, or people who consider themselves or wear the clothing of the community, the dashiki ass people, they are inside of the iniquity as well. They are part of the iniquity as well. You feel me? They are part of the iniquity as well. So at this point, it's almost like a pool where everybody peed in it. I can't get in the water. You know? Can't get in the water. It's not safe. You know? The water's not safe. So, man, watch Person of Interest if you need a tutorial on Palantir. All right. Yeah, they say Houston is getting like that. That's sad to hear, because I was so inspired by Houston when I went out there before. I just love the energy. That was a few years ago. But as with Atlanta, our people find a way to burn shit out. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, our people find ways to burn shit out. They take something good and give it the opposite of the Midas touch. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. But that's what happens. Okay? I'm gonna let Whitney talk to us. Whitney Webb, talk to us. Talk to us, Whitney.
Blackmail. They don't really need blackmail anymore. And I argue at the end of my book that Palantir, Peter Thiel's company, really makes it so that, that's the new Jeffrey Epstein at the end of the day. If they want to blackmail you or know something about you, they just access what Palantir sucked up about you and your search history, your communications, your finances, tweets you've liked in the past, all sorts of things. You don't really need Epstein in the surveillance era,
Do you think when they said tweets are private, it was just an inducement to get us all to like what we really want to like so they can hold it against us later?
It's possible if they want to hold it against you later. The disturbing thing about Palantir is that it's really about pre-crime. They were the pioneers of predictive policing. They were originally, almost everywhere they've piloted predictive policing have been low-income minority neighborhoods, where they decide who's going to commit a crime before they commit it. And that's essentially we'll see. Administrative detention, maybe, if we go the Israeli path. But Trump actually in his first term posited this program to stop mass shootings before they happen. That would basically involve going over American social media posts and identifying if they had early warning signs of neuropsychiatric illness based on their, tweets or Facebook posts. And if they were determined by the algorithm to show those warning signs, they could be, placed under house arrest or go to sessions with a court-ordered psychologist and all sorts of things.
Well, some of my extended relatives better be careful because they got some wild Facebook posts. I had to leave the app.
So do a lot of Americans. And it's worth pointing out that a lot of social media companies like Facebook have a lot of ties to Peter Thiel at the same time he was setting up Palantir. And that Facebook has a lot of similarities to a failed DARPA project called LifeLog that arguably Facebook was resurrected into, because Palantir is the resurrection of another DARPA program called Total Information Awareness that was so scandalous when it was announced. It was defunded by Congress, but then they realized that if they turned it into a private company, no one would complain. And that's how we got Palantir.
That right there, that young lady is Whitney Webb. We speak about her on the show. She is an investigative reporter, one of the best right now. You know, protect Whitney at all costs. She breaks a lot of stories and things of that nature. But yeah, she's been on top of this Palantir thing for a very long time. I've learned from her along with other researchers in this space. So yeah, let's keep going.
Mass Life of Kash Patel, Part 2, The FBI Year. Donnie appoints Kash as FBI director, and the little man's big dreams come true. Kash, who spent the last 2 years screaming that the FBI is spending too much money on private luxury jets, turns the FBI into his private piggy bank, funding private luxury jet trips across the globe, using the FBI as personal security for his girlfriend, taking personal trips to party at the Olympics. He tries to get the UFC to train agents for some reason, tries to move the FBI to Nevada, and fails to show up to work for most of his tenure. He drags his feet on the Epstein files, withholding millions of pages after spending years screaming about how they needed to be released. And he oversees thousands of agents, personally ordered by him, going through the files to redact Donnie's name from them. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, even though it isn't an FBI matter, he flies to Utah and claims he captured the assassin, even though that hasn't happened, and he's forced to walk that back. And during that event, he's so worried he won't look like an FBI agent on camera, he throws a literal tantrum on the plane until he's given an FBI jacket that can fit him. It was a woman small, if you're curious. He's gone on extremely strange firing sprees, seemingly targeting anyone disloyal to himself or Trump, including ordering a paranoia-filled polygraph test, asking if agents liked him. This includes firing agents specifically trained to counter Iranian terror plots. Right as we went to war with Iran, he forced the FBI to make cool videos of him acting tough. No, seriously, that is literally a thing he spent your money on. Then there's his girlfriend, a fairly attractive young woman who was magically interested in the sad, shriveled thumb of a man with extremely limited self-esteem. She has been singled out by former FBI agent Kyle Seraphin as a honeypot operation run by the Mossad. Whether it's true or not, it is very, very funny. On April 10th, Kash couldn't log into his computer. He spazzed out, panicking and calling aides, screaming that he'd been fired. He wrote up a personal announcement about his firing, and he was then informed it was a technical glitch with his email. The Atlantic then published the expose on Patel, revealing he spends most weekdays heavily intoxicated while in D.C. and most weekends blackout drunk in a Vegas casino. He misses more briefings than he attends. His security team has had to break into his rooms where he is blackout drunk, and this has led to multiple botched investigations, including the Charlie Kirk assassination. Iran hacked his emails that show him visiting Cuba and partying, which is kind of a no-no in the Trump administration, and that he has accounts on pornographic websites under the name Spider Cash, which is very, very dumb. But he's not just a toddler-sized, cross-eyed buffoon. He's also done some truly dark shit, like shutting down the investigations into Renee Good, Julio Sosa Celis, and Alex Pretty's shootings, and directed the FBI to investigate Trump's perceived political enemies. At the end of the day, this half-man is an absolute little pocket monster who needs to be removed from power immediately.
General Neil McCasland left an open book on X, and no one is reading his tweets. Think about who this man is. He didn't just work for the Air Force, he ran the Air Force Research Lab.
Listen to this lady explain how Neil McCasland left an open book of information and Easter eggs on his X before he disappeared. It's believed that he may have been alluding to the fact that you can get energy and electricity from the ether, and you don't need the cables or oil to produce it. That's just one of the many theories as to why they're getting rid of these scientists, that they discovered how to get electricity from simply out of the air. What do you think?
He was the gatekeeper for Pentagon's most sensitive special access programs. Then on February 27th, he walks out his New Mexico home and just vanishes. 10 days before he disappeared, the military pulled a massive PR stunt called Operation Windlord. They used C-17s to transport micronuclear reactors across the country. The news calls it clean energy revolution, but McCasland, he posted one word: idiocracy. He was trying to tell us that while they're disclosing micronukes to the plebs, us, they are hiding the discovery that makes nuclear power look like a campfire. McCasland wrote that electricity can be for free. He explained that a lightning bolt isn't just weather. It's a nonlinear discharge of an adiabatic field that is always flowing around us. He's talking about tapping into the Earth's own magnetosphere. He's telling us that this energy crisis is manufactured lie to keep us all paying for the fuel while the government harvests the sky for free. He goes deeper. He talks about the 2DOF lattice, a forbidden state of physics where mass loses its grip on reality. He says if you sink an ion in an electron wave at a macroscopic interface, you don't take off with engines. You float away. No inertia, no G-forces. It's the technology he was overseeing before he was unplugged. This explains why we see a craft making 90-degree turns that should liquefy the human pilot. And here is the something dark part. McCasland is just one of the 9 top-level American scientists who have disappeared or died in the last year. Most were tied to the Air Force Research Lab. In the 3 addresses yesterday by Trump, Starmer, and Albanese talked about national resiliency and fuel fines. They want us scared and dependent on their grid. McCasland's open book is the only thing standing between us and an engineered dark age. Do your research yourself. His X account is still up.
Off than we have ever been. XAI continues to pollute at a level even.
So this story right here is about Elon Musk and the data centers. For the record, I am against the data center buildup, even though I speak about AI and utilizing it, right? The AI that I utilize do not utilize warehouse size, quote unquote, data centers, all right? If the trade-off would be no AI, you know what I mean, and they tear down every single data center, then I probably would say, go ahead and do it. The AI that I'm using is not using data centers. I could give a fuck about a data center. I don't trust the data centers. I don't think that they're building out data centers to run no goddamn AI machines as it is. I feel like data centers is going to be some type of the equivalent of what the plasma centers are, right? The fact that they got niggas walking in selling their plazas, they'll have people walking in selling their data. But the difference with that is that they're going to attach a neural link to the back of your brain and they're going to extract data from you. That's what a data center is, right? That's what a data center is. So I'm not about none of that data center stuff. Get rid of all of them, right? We know that some of them are being very heavily opposed by communities. And then we know that some of them are being successful in being built. But yeah, pray for the disruption of the data centers by all and any means.
Worse off than we have ever been. XAI continues to pollute at a level even higher than our Memphis International Airport. This has been terrible for our region and it's terrible for our future because our community is going to continue to suffer. Our children have the highest rate of ER visits for respiratory illnesses and issues in the state of Tennessee, and it's only going to continue to get worse.
To the city of Memphis, Tennessee. Last week, the NAACP sued Elon Musk's XAI, accusing the artificial intelligence company of polluting black neighborhoods with toxic emissions from its makeshift power plant fueling its data centers in Memphis. The lawsuit alleges XAI is violating the Clean Air Act by operating over 24 methane gas-burning turbines without legal permits.
These turbines generate enough power to power over 500,000 homes. This is unprecedented, the amount of pollution that we're being exposed to, nitrogen dioxide, formaldehyde, chemicals that we know cause.
They should have sent Pooh Shiesty over there and the motherfucking Chopper Gang. They should have sent them, the Memphis boys, to go see Elon and them. That should have made national headlines.
Cause cancer.
Because they need a level of disruption now. They the same way that people made all of that noise when they killed one black man, they need to make motherfucking noise about these data centers. They might need a crash out to make this shit go viral because people need to basically know about this and not necessarily give it the type of energy that they give in like ICE, because once again, you're dealing with Luciferians. All of that fake outrage, that's like a battery. They'll use that to power themselves up. That doesn't stop anything. They get stronger when you niggas get out there and start crying and hemming and doing all of that dancing and shit. That's not how it works. Okay, so scratch that. No marches, no praying, my nigga. You know what I mean? We not going over the we not marching to Selma to stop the data centers. It's gonna have to be a new approach.
Elon Musk said is basically smoke and mirrors, because what we know is that Southwest Memphis continues to be targeted. Memphis Community Against Pollution has stood up against multiple corporations and billion-dollar organizations who've sought to see our community as the path of least resistance, where they could push forward these environmentally unjust and these environmentally racist projects. These projects specifically focus on a neighborhood, on a community, and on a region where you see an increased poverty level, and you also see an increased amount of black families. Just like all over the South, you see a concentration of AI data centers.
I mean, Elon shouldn't be the richest man on the planet if that's the case. It should reflect in the Tesla stocks or something, right? Like, he should not, if this is really what it is, and they calling for the Target boycott. No, where's the Tesla boycott? Where's everything? Where's the SpaceX? Where's all of those boycotts at? You know what I mean? Something he need to get hit in the pocket. The shareholders need to get shaken up. There needs to be some type of proactiveness to get this shit on the on a chopping block.
Communities that are largely black or marginalized. This is nothing new. This is Elon Musk presenting an option for Memphis, which we know is untrue. Elon Musk was invited to Memphis. Unfortunately, our city mayor joined with Ted Townsend of our Greater Memphis Chamber, and these folks wooed the terrible decision that we continue to see operate like a cancer in our region. XAI has not promoted or really led to the jobs that they said they would. They have not been in communication with the community in any significant way. But what they have done is continue to pollute our air, to do it unlawfully and illegally, and not include even our government officials. We are in a place now where we are literally worse off than we have ever.
Crazy. So while that's happening, right? Because it's a bunch of shit happening to black people and where they live and whatnot, right? There's a lot of ish going on while we're being distracted by other shit, right? They're making moves they're making moves. Trust. Moves are being made. Now, the big thing going on right now in New York City, right, is the deed thefts. The deed thefts is going crazy right now. So that's a big thing in New York City, right? But before we get into the deed thefts and we start exposing that, check this shit out. You want to talk about clown business? One of the people who sold the city out, right? Because there's always a sellout. There's always somebody that sells our people out. Charlie Rangel, I'm not going to talk crazy about that man, but he made transition recently, and wherever he's going, may he be confronted by the fact that he sold our people out with a smile on his face, right? But now we got Eric fucking Adams, the black mayor, allegedly, the former mayor. This nigga is an Albanian citizen. Check him out.
And I love being American. But today, thanks to your prime minister, Albania.
This nigga's Albanian, y'all. If y'all know anything about the Albanian mob, like, this nigga's Albanian.
I'm the first black Albanian mayor of NYC. Well, you used to be mayor, but that wasn't enough, so you went overseas to become Albanian. You studied their ways, the way every family has a guy who knows a guy. Not for anything illegal necessarily, just there's a guy for everything. The way every third car is a Mercedes E220 from 2003 with 400,000 kilometers on it that somehow still runs perfectly. The way half the country is in Germany, sending money back. The Mercedes is how you get to Germany. The Mercedes always makes it to Germany. You've studied it all, and finally you receive your passport while wearing your spiritually Albanian tee. Get yours at childrenofcon.com.
This nigga's Albanian. It's like a bad movie, bro. It's like, what the hell, nigga? You're Albanian. Okay, all right, Eric. All right, Mr. Eric.
Yeah, my name is Ray Cortez. My father's a victim of deed theft at 91 St. Mark's Place.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my father, Ray Cortez. He's a victim of deed theft. He's lived in his home since 1969.
Wow.
And Since 2006, we've been fighting to regain back ownership of the property. Right now, we're kind of working towards that, thankfully, but we're here to support Carmela. Our coalition is comprised of people that are fighting to get back their properties. It's just not myself and Carmela, it's brother Omar, and it's so many people, so we just want to bring awareness to the community of what's happening.
Female Hasidic judge Rachel Fryer sent Brooklyn grandmother Carmela Charrington to Rikers Island on Thursday after ruling that she was in civil contempt of court for not handing over her 84-year-old father to Adult Protective Services for the state of Georgia. Last night, Carmela's attorney argued in court that Carmela's rights are being wholly violated and that Judge Rachel Fryer is being extremely heavy-handed to someone who has no criminal record and has a power of attorney over her father. Last night, the judge signed an order to release Carmela. However, as of now, Carmela is still in Rikers, and the NYPD conducted a search warrant at her residence this morning looking for her father. This is just one piece of a complicated deed theft case in Bed-Stuy, New York.
So, New York City, right? Man, now, here's a few things. One, over the past few months, we've been highlighting the gooish or the juice boxes, right, that live in New York City that have control of the real estate market. Those are the Hasidics, right? The same people that Jared Kushner is a part of, right? They, remember, we're talking about tribes of juice boxes. Not all juice boxes are not equal, right? So this is a specific sect of the tribe. They are the landlords. They're the slumlords. And they've been committing deed theft. They are there to steal, the Khazars, because they're there to steal our land. They stole the Bronx. They stole New York City by burning down all of the buildings back in the days with the insurance scams. The crime in the hood in places like Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, East New York, they were on the sidelines. They're the lawyers, they're the legal aides, they're the judges and whatnot, but they're also the real estate agents, and they also deal with the property, right? So they were working this thing where, neighborhoods were basically, the value of the neighborhoods were falling, like in Harlem, where the brownstones at one point were $1, right? And then in the Bronx, they were burning down the buildings and whatnot, clearing out all of that space and whatnot, and then coming back in and buying shit up for pennies on a dollar. Okay, that is a scam that they've been doing. Godfather of Harlem actually opens up. Godfather of Harlem season 1 and 2 focus mainly on how they were using the insurance scams, and they were burning buildings. They were hiring criminals, and they also had some of the they had like the gangs and some of the hooligans and whatnot working with them. They were throwing peanuts at them to burn buildings for insurance, right? So the $1 brownstones were crack houses. The $1 brownstones were basically turned into crack houses, like you would see in the Jungle Fever. Remember Jungle Fever? Remember New Jack City with the Carter and everything? And they turned the Carter into a crack house, or they had crack houses in Jungle Fever. Some of those crack houses were abandoned brownstones, right? Some of those crack houses were like pre-war buildings, like prime real estate. There's when you hear about New York City, you think that it's like a hood, and it's not. Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, Queens, the majority of it, parts of Bronx like Gun Hill and all of that, Pelham Bay, all of that is real estate. All of those are single family, double family, triple family homes, right? Look at the brownstone behind her. They don't build brownstones anymore. That level of real estate, that level of architecture, that is considered, man, they want that. Do you know how much brownstones are selling on a monopoly board, my nigga? That's like the green property. You know what I'm talking about? That's like Pennsylvania Avenue and shit. You feel me? So they're ramping up. Their fangs are coming out. The small hats are ramping up. The small hats in New York are becoming aggressive. The small hats are attacking and whatnot. They're at the point where they don't care anymore. They're treating melanated people like the people in Gaza are being treated. They're running down on grandmothers and grandfathers and aunties and uncles and everything, and they're committing. It's almost like how the settlers and Is It Real are taking the land from people who owned it for centuries upon centuries and generations upon generations. They're doing the same thing in Crooklyn. They're doing the same thing in Brooklyn. They're doing the same thing in Bronx. They're doing the same thing in Harlem. Harlem has some of the best real estate. You would think, because the way that they sell it, you'd be like, oh, this is a hood. Yeah, they got projects, but they have houses, brownstones on the side blocks, real, like y'all been in them Airbnbs. Shit look nice. Okay. So there's gonna be Mom Donnie is in bed with the juice boxes, of course. But I'm glad that Black New York got work to do. They're learning about who certain people are, as we all are, right? And New York is becoming more radicalized a little bit. You have people that are is going from is going back to some of its original type of ways, where people are like getting into sharing information and being hip, not necessarily on some genius shit, you know what I mean? But people are definitely it's like, to not be hip is frowned upon right now. To walk around and act like you're dumb and whatnot on purpose, yeah, that's not necessarily looked up to and whatnot. To be hip about certain things, to carry a conversation, to be aware, just on basic shit, that's kind of the order of the day. Shit like this, it educates people. Things like that educate people. They become more educated when they what's theft? Oh, you know what I mean? Shit like that. But yeah, it's going down.
Historically black neighborhood that has lost over 22,000 black residents in just one decade.
So look at what happened in Biggie's Bed-Stuy, right? Bed-Stuy lost 22,000 black residents and gained 30,000 whites. And they used Biggie Smalls as like the fucking he's like Biggie Smalls sold more property in Brooklyn. This is posthumous Biggie Smalls, not Christopher Wallace when he was alive. Biggie the mural, right? Biggie the commercial art, the Biggie as a service, Biggie as a product, right? They use him to sell property. But the original people, they either got bodied, locked up, pushed out, or they left willingly, right? Or they got priced out. And that's that influx in Miami. That's that influx in the Carolinas. That's that influx in Atlanta. That's that influx in Virginia. That's that influx in Jersey. They have our people scattering. Niggas is not moving because they want to. They got packed up. Because when it was time to get it right, niggas wasn't getting it right. Let's just keep it 1,000, a thou wow. They wasn't keeping it, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't stacking right. They wasn't working together. Then nobody was telling us about credit and all of that in like early 2000s and how to clean it up. And you know what I mean? We have our sister Monique from Nicholas, Brooklyn. They're threatening to triple her rent. You got the East Indians out there trying to buy up everything. Not even the juice boxes. The juice boxes is in bed with the Red Dot Indians. The Patels and them, the Patelis and shit. They are all in bed. Once again, our people are the targets. So we lived in prime real estate and they moved our people out. 22. So you got 8,000 extra white folks crammed into Bed-Stuy, one of the blackest, one of the most melanated parts of Brooklyn. 30,000 new quote unquote white people up in that bitch, walking poodles, gay as they want to be, on every drug that was ever made. I talked to a drug dealer when I was in Harlem in 2009. And this nigga, he pulled up to where we were selling the DVDs. I know the bro, you know what I mean? I didn't know that he was in the drug game like that. But he was telling me about, you know, how the drug game is working with all of the new gentrifiers. And his shit was, he was like, man, business has never been greater than now. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, these motherfuckers, they buying everything. I'm like, buying everything? Like what? He like, nigga, they're buying everything. He was like, they're on everything. And I was like, yeah, that's cute and everything, but you know they're gonna tell on you, right? You know they're gonna tell on you. You know you're setting yourself up because you know that these are the police, right? You know that they send these people in as sleeper cells and as agents to be dope fiends. They fake artists and fake dope fiends, and you know they free loving and gays and everything. That's their first wave. That's the first wave that they send in, and they line you niggas up. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all selling hard drugs. Y'all selling a meth, ketamine, the boy and the girl. Yeah, nigga, bye. Yeah, all them niggas is locked up. Bye. That was back in 2009. You already know. They don't live in those marble, they don't live in those glass houses where the white people live in them buildings. The drug dealers did not move into those glass houses. They did not move into those white castles in the hood. Them niggas got packed up. You know what I'm talking about? And the white boys order their drugs now. You know what I'm talking about? Or they moved in a drug dealer who looked like them. Because they can't trust Rodney and Ray Ray. Y'all niggas is too grimy. So the minute that one white person got robbed, or the minute that one white fiend got laid out or whatever, that was the end of that. That was the end of that. And they moved in their own drug dealers. You know what I'm talking about? And this is taking place in a lot of places. This is going on in a lot of places where our people are being moved out, and they're encouraging crime. They're encouraging our people to run down the value. That's why they're pushing the gang. You know, all of that gang shit in New York City that came through the radio. Because I brought it up before. Ebro, that lame ass Ebro in the morning, the Ebro Darden. He was the program director. He wasn't a celebrity. He was the program director. He was responsible for whose music was coming onto the air. He was responsible for the playlist. He was responsible for all of that. When they started in, let's say, after the song, "This Is Why I'm Hot," "This Is Why I'm Hot," "This is why," I think that was like 08, 09 or something. I could be wrong. Could be before that. After that, damn near everybody that they started to sign that we heard on Hot 97 and 105 was a gang member. They were not breaking any artists unless they were affiliated to the gangs. So you talking about Cardi B, Bloods. You talking about Bobby Shmurda, right? And Roddy Rebel and them Crips. So Bobby Shmurda and them was probably the first wave of young gangbangers who were basically on a national stage with a hit, right? So that's 2014, right? And they're influenced by Chief Keef and them and whatnot. So Pop Smoke is Bobby Shmurda and them little homies. That he's small, he's the wave of the generation under them. You feel me? So when Bobby Shmurda and them was going viral, Pop Smoke was getting smacked up. He went viral for getting smacked up. Somebody made him drop his flag and smack dog shit out of him, and it went viral. And the kid that smacked the fire out of him, his name was Kamani Gray, and he gets killed by the police, right? And that's what starts the riots. That he gets killed by the police, shoot him in the back in the 90s, which is East Flatbush, and that's the rise of Bobby Shmurda and them. Okay, that was the Crips. Those were like because the Crips and Flatbush are like Panamanian. They all are island niggas. So they'll be the Panamanians, they'll be the Grenadians, they'll be the Jamaicans, and they'll be more like the Trinidadians and whatnot. Those would be Crips, and that's out of Brooklyn. Those are the shooters, right? They guns go off. That's Canarsie, what they call the Flossie. That's the 90s. And then that's like Church Ave and all of that, where I used to live, 21st, Regents, you know, all of that. But all of these dudes are like, you know, they mostly from the islands, right? Yeah, I Show Speed is in the Caribbean. I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, Taxstone, Troy Ave, BS. Right. So did Pop Smoke kick up the youth in the shop as revenge? Yeah. Pop Smoke caught up with one of the kids, and I think he knocked him out or whatever. But the initial kid that slapped fire out of him, the police killed him. He was a menace. And they had a riot with the Crips against the police where they was turning over paddy wagons and clapping at them. And out of all of that turmoil, that's where G9 and Bobby Shmurda and them popped off. You feel me? So they get taken down, and then Tekashi pops out. Tekashi's a blood. So I say all of that to say everybody on the radio was gang related, gang members. They was not breaking anybody. And don't ask me why, because it's not like New York wasn't a gang. I mean, New York becomes a gang town because you can't even, you can't really, it's hard to gauge, because once they put them on the radio, and that's the frequency on the sound waves and whatnot, whereas you had a gang issue before, it only exasperated it. Of course, I miss Jim Jones. I got to put Jim Jones. So Jim Jones was one of the first ones pushing that line through the Dipset shit. Yeah, he's one of the first blood niggas pushing. He's pushing the bloodline through his solo career. Right? So all of that shit is what deteriorated more of the real estate. It started chasing a lot of people out of New York City. They started to see the rise of gang culture. And it culminated, I would say that it crescendoed in 2020 with Pop Smoke and the drill movement, right? Because remember, you hear the word drill comes about, but they was drilling way before that. They just wasn't calling it that. But the culmination of all of that gang shit, it comes to like a crescendo in 2020 with the rise of a Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was probably the most lit gang member with a movement in New York. Facts. With his small window when he was alive, I would say from the feeling, that was the strongest movement that was gang related. Right? And yeah, that spike in crime and all of them shootings and all of that. While it's weird, because while the rent is raising from a median of 2,200 to like 3,000 to where it's 4,500 now, right? They couldn't justify raising up the rent when people were literally having broad day shootouts. They shooting at the police and shit like that. Like, make it make sense. You feel me? Make it make sense. There's the rats, the infestation of the rats quadrupled during 2020 and everything, right? So the city is rat infested, is gang infested, is crime infested, but the rent is going up. That's them small hats doing a Kabbalah shit. That's them literally squeezing people out the same way that they squeezing out the people in Gaza. It is no different. So now people are becoming hip to the same people that they're finding out, oh, these niggas eat babies and these motherfuckers is weird and they into some type of demonic shit. These are also your landlords. You paying rent to these people. So why are we underneath this economic warfare? We are vassals. Nigga, I don't want to see nobody flexing. The only way you can flex is if you don't pay the juice boxes no money. Because other than that, you just basically, they got you like sons. Where they have us like sons. I'll throw myself in there. Let's go check up on Trump a little more.
Another week of unending hell and torment, brought to you by Lil Donnie. Friday the 17th, Donnie sends 10,000 more troops to Iran for the war. He says he's already won. The House passes legislation allowing the government to continue spying on you, and Donnie claims he's stopped all illegal immigration when there's still about 7,000 crossings per month. Saturday, Donnie and Joe Rogan sign an executive order on psychedelic drugs with Donnie, saying he wants to take some. Then maybe he did take some, because he immediately went on Truth Social and just lied, saying that Iran agreed to shut down their entire nuclear program and surrender, which never happened. He just made it up, likely because he's literally in the throes of dementia. Monday, April 20th, Donnie removes a third cabinet member who also got caught being grossly corrupt and incompetent. Then Kash Patel sues The Atlantic, which The Atlantic responds saying they literally have even more evidence. Donnie shutters the majority of the Forest Service locations just as we enter wildfire season. Tuesday, Donnie extends the ceasefire again, cause who knows why. 4D chess or something. Then Vance cancels his negotiations in Islamabad. The DOJ indicts the Southern Poverty Law Center, saying they were manufacturing racism when they were paying informants to give them information on racist groups. It's ultra silly, and nearly every single law scholar says it will be thrown out. Trump illegally sent CIA agents into Mexico who were uncovered when they died in a plane crash. Wednesday, fuck it's only Wednesday, Navy Secretary John Phelan is fired and replaced by Hung Kao, a man who believes a secret cabal of Satan-worshipping witches have taken over California. Iran, meanwhile, seized 2 ships in the strait, and in response, Trump orders the Navy to shoot and kill Iranian ships. He then lies and claims he personally stopped the execution of 4 women in Iran, which weirdly he's done before. RFK is outed for gross mismanagement of the HHS, including paying to make videos of himself drinking milk and being a video game hero. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Alex Jones all call for the 25th Amendment. Carlson goes so far as to apologize for supporting Trump. Thursday the 23rd, Trump for some reason says he wants to hire back the Navy secretary he just fired. It's very confusing. The DHS shutdown, which is still going on, has now lasted 65 days, the longest ever. The DOJ drops their criminal investigation into Jerome Powell in order to get his own ass-kisser confirmed as the Fed chair, which will likely tank the fucking economy even further. A leak uncovers that the Pentagon is drawing up plans to punish countries that don't bail us out of the Iran war. Multiple ships in the Iran conflict are running out of food and have begun rationing. And Saturday, April 25th, another man attempts to assassinate Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. One Secret Service agent was injured. The man sent a manifesto to his family highlighting Trump as a traitor whose crimes we all are guilty of supporting. And Trump responds saying this is proof he needs a ballroom. And that is all just one more week.
This deed theft stuff in New York City, if you're not paying attention to it, you need to educate yourself and fast. This is not a fucking joke. And once you start going down the rabbit hole of the deed theft, it's an epidemic at this point. And then you see the community that is committing the deed theft, and your tax dollars pay for not only the deed theft, motherfuckers, but also for the community members that are committing the fucking deed theft. These Zionists within the Tri-City area, and we're talking, I'm not saying the entire community, but we're talking over 600,000 Ashkenazi and Zionists live within the Tri-City area. So you got to think at least 150, 200,000 of them, I'm probably lowballing, New Yorkers are going to tell me, are Zionists. Not to mention, this is a community where nobody works. Nobody works, but nobody's power ever gets shut. Nobody's ever without food. Okay? Nobody's ever without clothes on their back. The babies always have diapers, and there's a lot of fucking babies, y'all. Because they don't just marry and have 2.5 kids. They marry and breed until mommy cannot breed any fucking more. And these are the same community members that joined the program all your tax dollar is paying for, by the way. And now they have dual citizenship, and they go back and forth from little white America in the Middle East all the way back to fucking Brooklyn for land grabs and deed theft over there. But it's a little bit more violent over there. They're trying to keep it on the hush-hush in Brooklyn, because I'm telling you what, these New Yorkers are not having it. Y'all are like, down with Zionism, free Palestine, free fucking New Yorkers
Free
from
Brooklyn.
Zionists taking their shit. How about that?
So, you know, if I was in New York, I'd probably be the rebel rouser, because this is a, you know what I mean? Like she said, the New Yorkers have more propensity to kick ass, you know what I mean? And when it's coming to real estate, and you know, over so many years, it's been flying underneath the radar. But they done, you know, so many elders have been pushed out, so many quote unquote, you know, so much legacies have been somewhat upended by this theft, by these thieves, you know what I mean, by these quote unquote pillagers. So yeah, this shit is gonna come to a head in New York. Look how they living though. Look at this shit. Check this out. They live in their own world.
Is not an ordinary flip phone. It's a special phone called a kosher phone. Kosher phones are phones that some Hasidic Jews use that are specifically modified to put certain limits on the device. Why? Well, many religious Jews try to use the internet with limits. They're not against the internet, but it's very different to have the internet on you all the time. So people will try not to have the internet on their mobile phones, or only at the office, or only on a desktop. There are many reasons for the use of kosher phones, including to make sure that the adults are present for the children and not distracted by the internet. This kosher phone is sold at a kiosk in Brooklyn, and its browser is disabled. These phones can be seen all over Brooklyn. There are more kosher technology products you can spot, like kosher cameras without cloud-based features, kosher MP3 players without iTunes or any.
This nigga said kosher cameras, kosher iPhones. Now you know the reason why that bitch is kosher is the same reason why the food is kosher. They're poisoning the general population consumption food. They're poisoning the electronics, right? They're poisoning them, right? So there's a level of poison that's taking place through the viruses, through the malware, through the spyware, through third-party data collection. But these people know not to have those phones because these people are the ones building them. They're the ones building them. So the protective measures is the fact that they're part of the fuckery, and they have these sanitized, safe phones because they're a part of they're part and parcel to the fuckery, but they're not victims of it. You get it?
Other web access, kosher GPSs that are standalone devices of Google Maps and Waze, so you don't need a smartphone, but you can benefit from the technology. Kosher Game Boys, which don't have violent games. Even
Kosher Game Boys that doesn't have violent games. I promise you, I'll pull a list of every single developer in Rockstar Games, all of the quote unquote companies that have violent games, and they all kosher names, my nigga. They all kosher names. And these companies, you know, BlackRock is inside of all of these food companies. You know what I mean? All of the companies that are pushing all of this carcinogenics and all of this cancer causing, they all kosher names, right?
kosher Teslas with the internet jailbroken. The children usually don't even have kosher phones, although sometimes they do, so they spend hours and hours playing together.
Reveal forbidden knowledge and hidden plans with...
You know? So for the parents out there, we should be creating our own hardware, because I don't want their kosher phones. But that idea of these quote unquote phones that are not attached to the cloud, that are not siphoning your information, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's something that we should begin to look at.
Donald Trump didn't go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2017, 2018, 2019, or 2025. So when my parents and I got on the phone this morning, because they're in Hawaii, I'm in Berlin, because I met a man on a train, we fell in love, it's a whole thing. And they said, hey, did you hear that Donald Trump almost got shot at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night? My first reaction was like, Donald Trump doesn't go to those. Donald Trump hasn't been to a White House Correspondents' Dinner since 2016.
Remember, I believe it was the White House Correspondents' Dinner that Obama embarrassed him and basically had everybody laughing at him. And that is one of the reasons why he says that he ran for president. Because somebody go and do the fact check for me. Remember, that's the dinners where they be roasting one another, right? Remember, that's the dinner where they roast one another. And if my memory serves me correct, the reason why he is president, so look how shit is coming full circle. The reason why he is actually second term president and we're going through this goddamn twilight zone is because Barack Hussein or motherfucking Obama decided that he wanted to crack jokes on Donald J motherfucking Trump in his goddamn era of, he was in his apprentice era, and he clowned that man so bad, had Donald turn pink. Well, he's already pink. Had the nigga turning red. That he said, because remember, Donald Trump was trolling Obama about his birthright citizenship. He was a truther, and he was down with the whole thing about, I want to see your birth certificate. So he went and he bodied him. And then after that, he was like, you know what? I'm taking him down and whatnot. I'm taking him down. You said Key and Peele wrote the jokes? Yeah, he turned blood orange. So funny that this is the place where he allegedly was supposed to get his shit pushed back.
Seen the photos of Melania's face. Look, she thought she was just marrying an old man who was going to die soon and was going to get a ton of money. And, you know, frankly, I don't feel bad for her, but her expectations were not met. I'll tell you that much. I've seen the pictures of Pete Hegseth giggling to himself, like after the fact. I've seen Stephen Miller hiding behind his pregnant wife. Katie, you're matador. But anyways, I just wanted to remind you that Donald Trump doesn't go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He hasn't in 10 years. That's all.
Yep, there you go. 2011. He got his ass. 2011. Okay. He just was calling for Obama's arrest. Just he can't keep that man off of his brain, y'all. But yeah, that was the one that set off that was the shit that created Dark Donnie. That's when Dark MAGA was created. You know what I'm talking about? Dead ass. You know, the irony.
Black snake moan. Sasha has black snake moan. And I've been talking about white women who get that black D, especially the ones that are doormats and lack self-worth, and how we act towards black women once we start getting rejected by black men in particular for years. And I never miss. And this is black snake moan. Somewhere in all of this projection of rejection and daddy issues is a black man that she was very satisfied by who rejected her. And now she's taking it out on black women. Now, Sasha's already told us that she's a puta and she grew up without a father in the home, which always means hypersexual and self-loathing. And the reason this is a tale as old as slavery is because any girl that has American flags around her name pushing a family conservative agenda when she looks like that is desperate for male attention. Now, the thing about this level of racism and the mandingo fetish, which is what this is, but I just use black snake moan because it's a lot fucking more gritty, which is probably what this freak-a-leak is like when she's naked with the lights off. The projection of rejection comes from her not having a father in her home and the fact that white men don't like this. This is not pretty to the white man. And she's been dealing with that type of rejection her entire life. So when a black man showed her any type of attention, she bent that shit over and she felt that black snake moan for the first fucking time. Her hatred towards black women was blossomed because this is what we fucking do. There is a deep jealousy within this young woman towards black women. And the irony is it has absolutely nothing to do with black women.
New York City has always had this like grittiness, like the niggas there are just different. Like, of course the diaspora goes crazy over there, but like they're very like spiritual. We could call it street metaphysics, like the esoteric black urban consciousness, the hood intellectual with a spiritual edge. Like niggas damn near are tapped into their inner Marvel character. It's very comic book, it's very powerful, it's very spiritual. But like, what is that? Like, I only ever see it there, and I also don't know where it exists today. Granted, these could be, again, going back to underground arenas, but there's just something over me around, wait, New York has always had that thing. I'm Gen Z, I'm 27, so I come from a very different place, and I'm not from New York, but the spirit has always resonated with me. It started with whatever is this push behind hip-hop, and like literally the beginnings of hip-hop, when it was KRS-One teaching the elements in classrooms and shit like that. I always resonated with that. There's just so many symbols, you know, whether it's battle rap, whether it's the Math Hoffas and the Joe Buttons and the Star Reports of the world. Like, there's just this energy there. Or even me, I know when I got pulled into I only learned about Wu-Tang through the Wu-Tang Saga series, but like my mom was blown learning about the 5% and like what's today's mathematics to like Peace God. Like I did like talk to people like Peace God. I changed my name. Like I did that whole thing. I got introduced to Brother Panic and like Red Pill and Blue Pill and like that whole thing, and like the lecturers and like Fleur Byrne is from New York, and she has, you know, that alien, that sector of the internet, and like it's just always been there. And I think that's just so important right now for some reason. It could partially sound funny because like Nikki was so New York, but that resonated with me. Like everything about her embodiment, but everything from like the barbershop debates to like, it's just something here. But I don't understand why that place and why that exists there. Like that can never be duplicated. And I just don't understand like why that consciousness hub doesn't pop off anywhere else. But like it's just so on me right now to like talk about, like nobody like really like defines it. You can't really go like search it and like, oh, this is the person. Like it's of course a self-led journey, but at the same time like it's so important. And again, we can look at it just a consciousness movement, really, I guess. But I'm just my just question is like, why is New York like that? Like them niggas are different, and I damn near feel like fake. Like, cause I'm not related. Like I don't know anybody from there, but like through the media, I was pulled and introduced to these facets, and I just fucking love it. Looking at this shit, cause I'm looking at it like I just love it. It is just mind blowing to me. Or it may just really just be the spirit of like pride and representation. Maybe I was just influenced by media. Ebro, 106 in Park, Hot 97, all of that shit. Like I thought that shit. Y'all don't understand the depths at which this shit it resonated.
People have asked me to talk about the roots of anti-blackness in South Asian or Indian society, and I can identify 4 factors. 1, the internal caste system, where Dalits and Adivasis are traditionally much darker or blacker skinned, and Brahmins tend to be lighter skinned. I am obviously an exception to this one. 2, the Indian Ocean slave trade. Now, there has been an African diaspora in India from as early as the 7th century, many of whom were enslaved within India. So anti-blackness dates back as far as then and earlier with the caste system. 3, colonialism. Proximity to power, to whiteness, to the British was afforded more to those with lighter skin. Those with darker skin were perceived as inferior, and the term coolie was more reserved for them. It's not that this didn't apply across the board, but there was greater discrimination to those with darker skin. Colonialism is a hierarchy, not a binary, and the British would play off one group against another. Lastly, modern global and Indian beauty standards. Fair and Lovely, Fair and Handsome being a very good example. These skin lightening creams, or even the word fair meaning beautiful and light skinned. I once saw an advert where a guy who looked exactly like me couldn't get a girlfriend, then he was given Fair and Handsome and the girl loved him. That broke my heart. So these are the 4 foundations of Indian anti-blackness. It runs quite deep.
Okay, y'all, good morning. So one of the things that we didn't talk about yesterday was the fact that the United States, they ended up putting a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, right? And of course, like I said yesterday, Iran said they're not standing for that shit, and Yemen's supposed to be helping them out. But what we didn't know, I knew it yesterday, I was just exhausted and insomnia, but I don't know about y'all, but the moon been mooning and the insomnia been insomnia in, okay? Your girl is tired. But that being said, I did know yesterday that Iran had broke the blockade. I just didn't know how many times. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all know right now. This story funny as shit because what you mean America said that they blocking the waters, but some ghost vehicles or some ghost vessels got through, and not just some, like 26 Iranian ghost vessels entered and exited the Strait of Hormuz completely untouched. So let me get this straight. The IRGC was out in the middle of the Gulf of Oman, just ghost riding the fucking whip all up and through the entire Strait of Hormuz, just wishing a bitch would. And America ain't did nothing? Girl, I swear to God. So yesterday, that's what ended up happening. It got reported that yesterday, the Strait of Hormuz was being blockaded supposedly by America, but in the wee hours of the night, basically, Iran had the IRGC turned their radars off, and they proceeded to continue on their business, patrolling and getting things in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, remember, America said that if anybody was to pass a certain point, that they would essentially either board the ships or they would pew-pew them. Well, none of the above happened, and America ain't said shit about it. So the IRGC ended up having to come to the surface, letting it be known, like, we got evidence. Like, do you need receipts? Bitch, I got receipts. Not only was it one, it was 26 of us. 10 of us at a time. Just ghost riding the waves. Like it was Nathan. I wish y'all bitch would. And America ain't do shit. Oh, punk ass, pussy asshole. You out here lying and telling all these stretched truths. What did Donald Trump call it? What did Donnie call it? Falsehoods. Telling all these falsehoods. Okay? These exaggerated falsehoods that y'all bout that life and y'all finna run it up and woo. And the whole time Iran was doing their big one. Whole motherfucking time. They doing their big one. Hanging outside the window. Bitch. What you gonna do? And you ain't did nothing? Child. Now, this didn't happen last night. This happened the night before last night. So that should let you know exactly where America is. Not only that, it had already been speculated the weakness and fragility of not only Israel's military capability, but America's as well. So them together, it had already been speculated that it is extremely fragile and it barely is, anything that is worth Iran or Yemen or the IRGC or Hezbollah even going back and forth with. It had already been speculated. The proof of that, showing the fragility of not only the American military, but also how not only did Iran, during the most recent aggression that had been happening between Israel and Iran, bomb one of the head honchos in charge of the Mossad right outside of the headquarters of the Mossad inside of Tel Aviv. But they have been destroying so much of the military equipment, and Hezbollah has been destroying so much of the military. I mean, over 50 IDF soldiers in one night is filthy work. That's crazy. Like, they was really outside for real. The same way that the IRGC was outside. So they basically, long story short, they handling the fuck out of y'all. Bitch, it's handled. Do we really even need to be protesting because they out there handling shit, getting it done? I'm talking about protecting and providing. Let me know what y'all think, because I know it's a lot more to go. I'm gonna be in and out today because y'all know I'm working on some things on the back end. And make sure y'all keep a close eye on all the channels or whatever the case may be, because some stuff that's dropping. Stay tuned. Oh, also don't forget, we are getting super close to our goal. We almost fully funded by the viewers. I need to go get a bottle of champagne, because this is we're celebrating being fully funded back to being fully funded by the viewers. And this time, there is no middleman. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. We did it, y'all. We almost fully funded. We are only $800 to our monthly goal, and that would make an entire quarter of us being fully funded by you, the viewers. I have so much to be thankful for, but we're going to pop that bottle once we reach that goal and get it all the way down to zero. Until then, I'm going to be right back.
The manual, the one they buried in the 90s. Russian researchers proved it. DNA is not genetic code. It's a crystalline antenna. They programmed it with words and frequencies, then The research disappeared. You want to know what they found? People watching. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field. 3 feet. Detectable. Measurable. Your neurons fire at 70 millivolts. 37 trillion cells processing 400 billion bits per second. You're not chemistry. You're a bioelectric quantum computer. You've been running default settings your whole life. But here's the wild part. Every choice is a timeline split. Information equals limited reality access. Optimal cells equal higher consciousness. You think you're choosing coffee or tea? You're choosing which version of reality you experience. They told you DNA was destiny. Lie. They told you consciousness is in your brain. Lie. They told you reality is fixed. Biggest lie of all. Quantum tunneling in your cells right now. Electrons passing through barriers they shouldn't penetrate. You're not processing reality. You're navigating probability. And they definitely didn't teach you that in school. Give me 60 seconds and I'll tell you exactly why you feel stuck. EMF saturation, inflammatory food, sleep deprivation, all of it decoheres your quantum field, keeps you in a narrow band of probability. You keep making the same choices because your biology cannot access the other timelines. Your gut bacteria influence mood through the vagus nerve. Dehydration impairs decision making. Chronic inflammation clouds cognition. You're not depressed. You're decoherent and nobody told you how to tune it. Comment, scroll below. Your system already knows that hum, that recognition. Yeah, comment, scroll. They literally built the whole world to get you to forget. The 9 to 5, the notifications, the outrage cycle, all of it designed to keep your antenna picking up interference. But you feel it breaking, don't you? The static clearing, something remembering itself. Want to know what happens when you remember? You stop being the signal and you become the broadcast. I spent years running default settings, anxiety, brain fog, wrong timeline after wrong timeline. Then I found the manual, started treating my body like the quantum vessel it is. Sleep equals coherence, nutrition equals cellular energy, intention equals frequency. The choice determines your timeline, but the biology determines the choice, and the frequency determines the biology. You are the frequency. You just forgot how to hold it. Comment, scroll below. Your architecture is showing. The code is leaking.
Browsy going in. You know what I'm talking about? Browsy. We got some more browsy. I'm gonna hold on to it though, boy. We gonna do that tomorrow. We ain't gonna overload the browsies.
Who created Superman? A Jewish artist. Do you know who created Batman? A Jewish artist. Do you know who created Spider-Man, X-Men, the Avengers, and even Black Panther? Stanley, a Jewish man. Are you telling me that nobody else can create superhero characters? No, they can, but they never are given a fair chance in the market. They keep this media monopoly on creativity and just the entire media, and they block everybody else. This is serious supremacy.
And that's why we have the Imaginarium, ladies and gentlemen. That is exactly why we have launched the Imaginarium, so we can now bring our creativity to the board. All right. It is of the utmost importance. It is of the utmost importance that we get to share our minds and get our words out there. That is why we have this. So let's go to this commercial for the Imaginarium, and we'll be right back.
Imaginarium, the yellow brick roads are unlocking codes, connecting nodes on the Silk Road. El Claudel collecting silk robes. The 44 gods wrote the 48 laws, and now we invoked and invoking the 42 claws. The return of the sunburnt moors, northwest of Maxim Tors. Open claw, open sesame, we open the doors. Now it's tokens galore, rubber bands on the floor. 100 grand on the left hand of the mall. We in the land of the Moors, we claiming every corridors. From Atlantis to the shores of Florida to the mounds of Mississippi. This is the sound of the inner city, home of the gritty. From the neighborhoods where the clowns were shitty and the crown was on Nipsey. The marathon continues. We won't stop this campaign until we take back all of our towns. All 60 in the meantime. I'm on GitHub, getting to the money, running swiftly. You get me? They tried to say the best nation wasn't your imagination. Fam, are you kidding me? Fam, are you shitting me?
Click on the QR code in the upper left, right above the live signal, so you can sign up to the Imaginarium School. All right. We have the Imaginarium School. We have 200 plus members. Inside of the school, you will begin to learn how to take your ideas and manifest them into cartoons, film, animation, toys, anything that is a part of your Imaginarium. All right. We've all familiar with all of these things because it's a part of our childhood. So if you have a childhood that you want to tap back into, if you want to be childlike, if you want to tap into your creative will and your creative powers, and if you want to complete some of your childhood projects, tap in with us, because I'm not going to spend the whole show on YouTube talking about it. You just got to become a part of what we got going on, because trust me, as you can see with the output of the this video and other videos, we definitely are working. We have master students that are putting out movies at this point, you know what I mean, comic books. I had a brother just send me a graphic novel that he completed. So we are working. Trust me, everything is not about, Melanin Monday, Sacrilegious Sunday. We giving you the news, but outside of that, that's not all that we're doing. We're building and we're creating and we're manifesting and we're quote unquote, we're teaching ourselves how to heal by being very free in our expression. We're able to communicate now. We didn't have this freedom before, but we got it now. So yeah, Imaginarium, we up to like 12 weeks already that we've been doing this. So when you sign up, if you get upgraded, you have access to everything. But you could just come in and just have one class. You could just tap into one class if you want that as well. But yeah, join us. Also, I want to remind everybody that on Tuesday in Atlanta, we're doing a pop-up Techno Tuesday. It's called Techno Bowl IRL. Techno Bowl IRL. And we have a special guest, Dr. Vicky Wright Hamilton. How many people in the audience ever wanted to vibe code an app? How many people in the audience ever wanted their own app in the app store with their name on it, with an idea that you came up with that you could push and you could tell your friends and your loved ones and everybody and your coworkers, I got an app in the store. Why don't you go and put that on your phone and whatnot? Bam, bam, bam. Well, Dr. Vicky will be able to show you how to do that, because she has a very successful app. She is an app developer and she knows how to share, how to build on Lovable. She's going to be our special guest. It will be me in Spence City Tuesday at Spence City headquarters. The link for that, it's in a private location, of course. You feel me? It's in a private location. You could click on that right there. KTL University will take you to the we have it on Eventbrite, and I believe we also have the ticket on the KTL University. Or if you're a Patreon, you'll have access to the live stream as well. So with that being said, what else do we got? Yeah, we'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? I don't want to overwhelm everyone. We'll leave it at that. Meet us on Tuesday in Atlanta, and let's tap in. We desire an interactive website. Yeah, interactive website is something that you could create utilizing Google Stitch, utilizing Claude Design, utilizing anti-gravity, Vercel, Lovable, Cursor. It's a bunch of things. Chat GPT 5.5, you could build out a site with that. You know what I mean? Just in my humble opinion, I would suggest to anybody that ever wanted to build the app, it's all about the details. If you can write down all of the details of what you want your app to do, if you can articulate it, then it could be built. If you can articulate it, if you could think it, then you can build it. That's where we are right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, this channel is funded by the people. I do appreciate everyone's support. Okay, the level of work that we put in, I feel that we are deserving of the support of the people. We've earned that. So with that being said, the Cash App is right there. hit us up, or you could go to Buy Me a Coffee and show your support there. All right. That keeps things going. That keeps us invigorated. Shit, that makes these shows keep going, because when the support dries up, then the shows dry up. Because I got better things to do with my time than to sit around and build with 1,000 people that don't support me respectfully, right? Because I'm gonna just keep it real. You know what I mean? Like, this has to be reciprocated. It's not one of those things where it's like maybe. Nah, this has to be reciprocated, because this is a sacrifice. Tomorrow, Monday, 9 a.m., we got brother Heru coming through doing the health show. 9 a.m., we got Heru Osfari Atta. All right. And y'all already know, if you tapped in with the brother, you already know that he has solutions. We not just bringing nobody on here that's talking speculation and well wishing. No, we bringing people who literally got shit going on. They're healing people. They're doing things. They're killing the stock market. They're making things happen. Quality of membership. Quality of membership. You understand? People with motion, people that got things going on, solutions. How many people in the audience ordered from V-Cell Seymour's, or ordered from Brother Heru and got the quote unquote the olive leaf extract? You know what I'm talking about? How many people tapped in and got some stuff from Blue Pill to honey and all of that? Farmy. Like, we're literally making moves, changing lives respectfully. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. I want to say thank you. Peace, love, and light. Y'all stay dangerous. And we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, share, and comment as well. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure you comment. Who got copper jewelry for sale? Yeah, we got the copper jewelry. I got a few people that got the copper jewelry. It's not just one vendor. It's about 3 or 4. So if you want some copper jewelry, hit me on the email, and in the link, I'll reply and I'll send you the link with everybody that has the copper jewelry, and you'll make the decision about what it is that you want. But that's the email right there, the Mark125th at Gmail. Tap in, and yeah, we take care of that. We'll handle that for you. Okay. So with that being said, yeah, we out of here, and we'll see you on, like I said, tomorrow. Oh yeah, we got to go to V-Cell. Let me not forget. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Damn. Give me 1 minute.
I'm so tired. My soul just quit. I come in here to recharge, but I really just sit here and rethink my entire life.
At this point, I'm just taking supplements for emotional support.
Or you could stop. Tired. My soul just quit. I come in here to recharge, but I really just sit here and rethink my entire life.
At this point, I'm just taking supplements for
I need y'all to tell me. I'm about to play 3 of these. I'm gonna do a little vote. I want to know which ones we gonna go with. So this is number 1, V-Cell. Let me know.
I'm so tired. My soul just quit. I come in here to recharge, but I really just sit here and rethink my entire life.
At this point, I'm just taking supplements for emotional support.
Or you could stop doing all that. One simple daily ritual, no chaos required. My energy is back thanks to Vicell, real sea moss. No fillers, no guessing. Start your daily mineral ritual with Vicell, because whatever you're doing right now isn't working.
Real talk. Mornings used to wreck me. I was tired, bloated, and running on caffeine. Then I found my morning ritual, and honestly, everything shifted. Every morning, first thing, 1 spoonful of Vicel Naturals Sea Moss Gel. Wildcrafted. No preservatives, just real, clean minerals, the way nature intended. Minerals, energy, gut support, skin glow. It's all in this one little jar. This is my morning ritual now. Start yours at VicelNaturals.com.
Herbs were still trying to sit on the throne. Vicel Naturals Pine Blue Sea Moss already had it. The crown was never up for debate. Moringa tried. Turmeric showed up. Ashwagandha didn't even finish. Soursop Shield Plus is undefeated. Science tried to explain it. The other herbs failed the test. Vicel Caribbean Balance Plus Sea Moss broke every chart your gut already knew. Every mineral category, every round, every time. Berry Banana Plus just swept the whole show. Game over! While other herbs sat on the sidelines, Dragon Flow Plus showed up and took over the whole carnival. Feel everything, miss nothing. 1 brand, 5 flavors, 92 minerals, 0 competition. Start your ritual today at VicelNaturals.com.
All right. Those are the 3 that I'm going to show for now. And I want everybody to do a little vote. Which one of those adverts were you feeling the most? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, this is number 1.
Tired. My soul just quit.
This is
Real
number
talk.
2.
Mornings used to wreck me. I was tired.
Other herbs were still trying to sit on the throne. Vicel Naturals Pine Blue Sea Moss already had it. The crown was never up for debate.
So I see. Okay, let's do the voting. Okay, let's do the voting. 2 and 3 interchangeable. We got 3. We got 2. Okay. Got the 3rd. Number 2. Number 3. Number 1. 2, then 3, then 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3 in that order. Awesome. Can you put it in tea and coffee? I would take the sea moss and then I would drink my tea. But you could definitely put it in tea. I don't know too much about coffee. I had it inside of some cacao though. I put it inside of the cacao, it was banging. 2, 1, 3. Okay. 3 is more fun. Yeah. 1, and okay. The second one was more authentic. Yeah, so the third one is more cartoonish. Second one is more authentic, and the first one was more AI avatar type. You know what that, like, more cartoony. Number 2 need more visual. All right. Does it give energy? Yeah. Does a bird fly? It gives great energy. You feel me? All 3 make it an ad campaign. Yes. It definitely is an ad campaign. We will be pushing that. Okay. That's you can scan the QR code right there for the Vicel Sea Moss. You can scan the QR code for the Vicel Sea Moss. And like I said, Tuesday, meet up with us for Techno Bowl. We'll be doing a live broadcast for Techno Tuesdays, and then we're going right into Techno Bowl. That is not the same program. Those are completely different. Techno Bowl is a standalone product or program. Techno Tuesdays is a regular Techno Tuesdays. Techno Bowl is a paid event, and the tickets are available on KTL University and on Eventbrite. The link is in the description. Okay. Let's go to the commercial from Vicel, and then we are going to tap out for the night.
Vicel in my cup,
I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. We sell in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the oceans, kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me for every save. Ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. We sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Wear it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every step. Ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. We sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tides hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. We sell in the mix now, watch us.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
Crumb TV.